We're practice here at Daytona International Speedway under the lights, and well, it's looking nice and tidy, nice and clean for once. Oh, peaceful. What the hell is that? That's Bracken slowing up the goat, taking her out. Shawball getting collected. Johnson somehow managing to get by without spinning there. And yeah, so much for our nice, calm, peaceful practice session. I guess there's just no room for that in the NASCAR AAA Cup Series. Oh, there we go. That's more like it. Let's just sit back, enjoy our coffee, and yeah, watch these guys go at it. Alright, whatever. Hello everyone, it's Hannaford, and I'd like to welcome you back to Daytona International Speedway under the lights for the Pepsi 440 laps once again around the premier track in NASCAR. And I don't know what about you, but I think this one is really shaping up to be a cracker. So without any further hesitation, let's just get straight into the driver lineups here. We've got Gil Samaya on pole alongside Steve Morgan, two drivers you expect to be at the top of the field at such a prestigious race as this one. Not quite the same as the Daytona 500, but definitely still a real treat to win here. It's still just as difficult as ever. Riley Spurley and Patrick Smith start on the second row today. We got Reagan Whitlock and Christian Bracken in the third row. We got Annie Thomas, Joey Trickle behind, and rounding out the top 10 in the starting order, Daniel Voiles and Chris Harvey. Looking back through the field, we got Lucas Evans, we got Colin Cropley, Matthew Burnett, Adalberto Franco, Summit Thurscon, Max Davis, Brittany White, Reggie Fogelman, Erica Monaco, Bobbin Flobo, Leroy Jenkins, Anthony Charbonneau, Rocky Johnson, Jana Fogelman, Gerald Pepper, Ashley Schadewald, your Daytona 500 winner. Hasn't qualified very well today, but is still expected to put on quite a show. Eli Wolf and Harry Langestein, Amy Hicks and Agata Sato, Mo Zane, Estacio Pique, Mathis Wells, Montero Salem, Sabrina Footlego, Joe Allen. We got the GOAT, we got Lyle Austin, and rounding out the field, R.U. Tanky and Dylan Ebrahimian. So, without any further hesitation, I said that already, let's just get straight into the race, shall we? Let's just get straight into it. So, we're back here at Daytona. I'm sure that the music is playing already. Sort of filming this video in a bit of a hurry, actually, because it leaves me about an hour to make some important edits to my homework before it has to be submitted today. But before that, I need to go to a dentist appointment, so yeah, that's definitely going to be occupying a lot of my time. Oh, crikey, I really do hope my dentist appointment doesn't take more than an hour. Actually, it probably will, in which case I'm probably screwed. Oh well. Not usually the type to arrive late to class, but, you know, there's something to be said about arriving fashionably late. I guess what that means is you don't want to be among the first people present, especially if you're a very awkward type. Or very extroverted and talkative type, for that matter, I think. So, anybody know any show tunes? I don't know why I couldn't have just skipped through this pace lap here, but it's Daytona, you know. Once again, it's a night race. Oh, okay. Dylan Ibrahimian's not starting the race because his engine has decided to give up on him before he could even start. So that's not just a DNF for Ibrahimian. That is a DNS, and that is absolutely heartbreaking without any doubt. What a joke that is. Probably some curse inflicted by the GOAT there, whom Ibrahimian was going to start behind in this race. More importantly, Gil Samaya starting on pole. He's going to lead the field along with Steve Morgan to the green flag here at Daytona International Speedway under the lights for the Pepsi 400. Of course, I'm much more of a Coca-Cola person myself. This race ends up becoming called the Coke Zero or Coke Zero Sugar 400 later on, but whatever. All the Boyd casinos have contracts with Pepsi to provide their drinks, so you get used to it when you don't really have much other choice. And immediately, I think we're going to start seeing this issue once again with the outside row. First of all, we've got some three-wide action in the back of the field, and more importantly, Gil Samaya has moved to the outside line, and that's just going to leave Patrick Smith liable to go for the race lead without much issue here. Patrick Smith looking like he's going to lead the first lap here, and Gil Samaya looking like falling into oblivion. Okay, now Patrick Smith somewhere in the middle here. Yes, there he goes. There are quite clearly three distinct lines. Look at Harvey and Cropley on the inside there. Now both Smith and Samaya looking like falling behind. Chris Harvey up into the race lead now, supported by Colin Cropley. That whole line there. Okay, there they go to the middle of the line. Now Matthew Burnett has something of a clear space. Samit Özkan looks like he's gonna head straight to the front here. That's what it was looking like just momentarily. Things are looking almost four wide in some places. It could easily be four wide over there. Colin Cropley stepping out, trying to go for the race lead here. Unfortunately, that wasn't a fight for the finish, as Colin Cropley obviously would have lost out quite disappointingly there. But a pretty pointless maneuver, to say the least. Artie Taiki falling behind the pack here. How are things over here in the middle? Well, the GOAT's keeping his head, and if that's the case, then there's probably some hope for this race to be semi-decent. So the car is extremely vulnerable to any sorts of crash today, especially when they're running three wide as they are right now. Everybody has to stay very careful, very cautious, keep their head, focus entirely on everything around them. They gotta mash down the gas pedal. They gotta chuck the turns. Yeah, chuck the turns. They have to chuck the car into the turns. And they have to keep an eye on the people behind them. And in front. Racing serious business, my friends. And Gil Samaya is all the way at the back. You can see him next to the GOAT, actually. He's somewhere still within the top 20 here, allegedly. But yeah, look, that's the GOAT. He's being scored 28th, but possibly up at the 21st already. Colin Cropley continues to lead. Chris Harvey has fallen into oblivion, as we've noted multiple times at the previous two restrictor plate racetracks. Tracks. Yeah, Chris Harvey almost near the back of the field. Remember, he was in second just moments ago. And Gerald Pepper looked like he could have been moving up into second there, but now he's again on the outside line, and that's just not working at all for him. Here come Mathis Wells and Max Davis. Brittany White on the inside. Help from teammate Annie Thomas. Daniel Volas might have been up in the field a while ago, but look at him being scored down in 26th here. As for Chris Harvey, 18th in the number 18, but possibly falling behind, along with the rest of that line at the outside. Richard Fogelman in along there. Anthony Charlebois as well. Look at them all the way in the back there. Everybody's still very close together. So maybe this whole kerfuffle about the lead constantly changing and the drivers constantly cycling through is not too much of a big deal, but it definitely just doesn't seem realistic. Doesn't seem the slightest bit realistic. It doesn't really make very much sense. But here comes the GOAT. The GOAT's not going to play by the computer's rules without any doubt. Here he is in 9th place at present, I think. That's what it's looking like. Colin Crowley continues to lead the race, which is a little bit uncharacteristic. I think, of course, at Daytona and Talladega, you were hard-pressed to see anybody. Oh, we got a spin in the background! That's Patrick Smith and Anthony Charlebois in the race as well. I think Chris Harvey was involved. Now Reggie Fogelman, Patrick Smith, Anthony Charlebois spinning across the tri-oval. And that's our first caution of the evening. Oh, that was pretty exciting. Let's have a look at what went wrong here. You have, yeah, you see, this is what I'm talking about. You have the drivers attempting to make it 4 wide. And that's not going to work out very nicely for anybody involved there. So, heading through turn 3, Patrick Smith gets across Mo Zane's car. Daniel Voyle has collected Chris Harvey as well. Charlebois, Langestein getting a touch. Reggie Fogelman suffering some of the worst of it, really. Other than that, it didn't look too bad, but yeah. We are under caution. Ari Taiki flying past Reggie Fogelman's car. Very fortunate to not have just piled into one of them. I think that's the sort of thing we would have seen at Darlington or California, for example. I remember Darlington, cars just piling into each other. Gil Samaya, most memorable among them. Look at that. The GOAT's gotten up into 6th place here. Remember, he started 37th this race and managed to find himself at the top of the field. So, yeah, again, that's just characteristic of the racing in this game at Daytona. And I suppose Talladega to an extent. I don't even really remember Talladega very much. I think a lot of people crashed out, and it was very wide open, expansive, and all that stuff. So, it seems that a fuel stop is needed in this race, just a splash of fuel, to make it to the end. So, it's quite likely that we'll be seeing the leaders heading onto pit road right now. Again, quite early in the race, but tire wear is not very much of an issue at all. And minor adjustments to the car setup probably won't be either, so the primary reason for pitting at this joint, is to get that fuel. Of course, the drivers could risk trying to save fuel on the pacing laps here by keeping it in 4th gear. Colin Crawford making that stop and go. He's going to be the first on out of pit road here. The GOAT's going to follow right behind. Brittany White, Mathis Willis, Agata Sato, Gil Samaya exit pit road. Alan Davis, Bracken, Flobo up there. I think behind them will be Austin, Lego, Thomas, Jenkins, Spurley, Jana Fogelman, Evans, Wolf, Salin, Morgan, Trickle, PK, Taiki, Pepper, Johnson, Langestein, Shadowald, Monica, Charlebois, Whitlock, Franco, Burnett, and Zane. That pretty much accounts for your whole field there. This Voyle is Smith and Harvey in pit road. Remains to be seen if they'll be back out onto the track here. Reggie Fogelman comes out ahead of Chris Harvey. And here's Patrick Smith as well. Simon Özkan still in the pits along with Amy Hicks. What happened here? I think there might have been another crash at some point. Ah. No, Amy Hicks just, okay. Yeah, Harry Langestein trying to get into his pit stall. Runs into Amy Hicks's car. There's Mo Zane. Kind of looked like the pace car was floating for a second there. That's a little strange. It's quite odd. Let's just back in time a little. So, we'll restart on lap 10. Samit Özkan still in the pits. Amy Hicks being scored a lap down. Amy Hicks still in the pits there. So Samit Özkan looking like suffering the same fate here. Unfortunate. But all right, we'll skip through the yellow here. When we restart, Colin Cropley will be leading the field. The Goat, White, Wells, Sato, Samaya, Bracken, Allen, Davis, and Flobo will make up your top 10. Austin Thomas for Lego, Jenkins, Spurley, Jana Fogelman, Evans, Wolf, Morgan, and Sallin rounding out the top 20 here. Got my coffee, and I should drink it so it doesn't get cold. Back underway once again at Daytona. 31 laps to go. Did I say 10 to go? We'll restart on lap 10. I think restart on lap 10 is definitely what I said. So, yeah. Don't have to be dealing with that too much. Yeah, looking a little bit slow for Colin Cropley, obviously. No drafting support for either him or the Goat, who's making the move for the race lead here. Again, without any drafting support from anybody behind, it looks like you can see White and Samaya speeding up, heading down the back stretch here. They're having a look at the race lead themselves, obviously. The Goat files in front of Colin Cropley. Colin Cropley moves to the outside. Gil Samaya steaming on the inside to catch up with the Goat. Brittany White following behind Colin Cropley momentarily here before shifting to the inside line here. The Goat covering off Gil Samaya. Heading into the trioval, the Goat's going to lead lap 10 of this race. Extra 5 points for him. Definitely going to be a bonus. Obviously, the Goat wants to win this race. He was really in with a shout of winning Daytona, but unfortunately got caught up in a crash, which, you know, yeah. If list of reasons he didn't win Daytona, you crashed. Not exactly surprising or exciting. Certainly not a unique reason, but well, that outside line actually looking good. Gil Samaya for the race lead now. And the Goat putting up no resistance to that. Max Davis also looking good to get the overtake done here. On the outside. We have a caution out again. Özkan and Hicks leave the pits. I don't know why there's a caution. Game says debris. Whatever. We're back underway here at Daytona. Okay, I don't know why there was a debris caution. I genuinely don't know. There was no crashes anywhere. And that's just not my bad memory talking. There generally were no crashes. It may have been for Hicks and Özkan finally leaving the pits. But, well, yep, there they are onto the track right now. The Goat back into the lead. Samaya's still up at the second. Amy Hicks, Max Davis, side by side. Simon Özkan here. Lots of dodges up together at the front of the field here. Leroy Jenkins making a world of a maneuver to block off Joe Allen there. That was pretty interesting. Gil Samaya really riding the Goat's bumper here. Max Davis catching up once again. Brittany White liable to clear Amy Hicks there. Simon Özkan holding up that outside line in the background. The Goat leads another lap here at Daytona. Yeah, there's really no point in doing something like looking through your race order here because, yeah, it's going to be constantly shifting. I don't think we'll glean very much from your lap times, but Sato appears to have the fastest lap time. White second, then Austin, Wolf, and the Goat. How about that? And the Goat has one of the fastest laps at Daytona. You know that something's gone badly wrong. Christian Bracken moving to that inside line. Trying to confuse the action a little bit here. There's Steve Morgan. There's Joey Trickle. Gil Samaya's teammate. Dalvin Flobo in the mix. Lucas Evans up here. Mathis Wells. Max Davis falling behind. There's Leroy Jenkins. Been quite a while since we've seen a really, truly aggressive maneuver from him. He's rather forgettable in the field, to be entirely honest. But Samaya's falling back. Now Christian Bracken, the presence in the Goat's rearview mirror. Oh dear. Joey Trickle getting very unsettled there, heading through turn 3. Turn 2, that is. And Bob and Flo, much the same. Oh, there's lots of contact here. Massive amounts of contact. The Goat blocks off Trickle. Flo, but getting it to Morgan. Morgan spins, the Goat is around! Lots of cars collected and caution out once again. Oh, what a horrible crash. Oh, it's the big one at Daytona. Daniel Ford's going spinning around. Jada Fogelman rolling uncontrollably. Sato upside down. Austin the same. Oh, what a horrible accident. So many cars involved. Oh, it's looking like the aftermath of a demolition derby or a natural disaster there. Oh, that was horrific. What the fuck was that? Excuse my language, but there you go. That felt like the most appropriate time to go for it. So, once again, the leader's trying to make it 4 wide here. They're all blocked off. There's just nowhere to go. Imagine being Mathis Wells in this situation. Nowhere to go but forward. And that's got to be absolutely terrifying. But yeah, everybody just getting extremely bunched up here. So, Bob and Flobo probably trying his hardest not to take out Steve Morgan there. You know, no blame can be assigned here. It's just that everybody's just trying to follow a bit too closely together. Morgan goes around, gets into the goat. Just barely, unfortunately. Trickle gets collected. The goat goes around. Bob and Flo and Mathis Wells go spinning. Gil Samaya ends up heading into the wall. Morgan goes spinning, and like everything just goes to shit behind them. Morgan collected. Lots of cars just piling into each other with nowhere to go. Look at that! Look at Daniel Voiles there. Jada Fogelman as well. It's looking more. This is actually looking more like Daytona USA than anything in this season so far. Yeah, like these cars here, they're falling behind the tandem. They're falling behind the whole pack of drafters here. Jenkins survive. Look at the people on the apron able to survive by the skin of their teeth. But yeah, you can see the cars involved here. Unfortunately, Gerald Pepper in amongst them. But yeah, Samit Özkan, he piles into Amy Hicks. So once again, Amy Hicks crashing in turn 3 at Daytona. Yeah, I mean, like, Agata Sato goes upside down, as do, again, gotta emphasize, another myriad of cars here. There's a car park in turn 3. Eric Monaco goes around. Franco piles into Whitlock's car. That was... Oh, red flag, surely. This is a red flag scenario in this game if there ever were one. Obviously there aren't red flags, but yeah, we gotta just like look at this again. I mean, we gotta really savor this moment. There's so much to unpack here. Really, it all starts with drivers like Mathis Wells, but he ends up getting relatively the least of it. But I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of the people involved in this accident were, you know, well behind the field here and just ended up having nowhere to go. We'll take a look at Samit Özkan. I think that's going to give us a pretty decent perspective here. Look at how, again, how far ahead the leaders are. And everything just goes downhill very quickly. Özkan can hardly see a thing. Piles straight in. I think that's definitely going to be a total car. Let's go some life in that engine, but no, he's definitely out of the race. Obviously, we got to look at like drivers like Langestein here, but yeah, like where do we begin? I mean, Eric Monaco. Let's focus on him very quickly. We'll go on board. Obviously, don't want to be impacting that apron very hard there. Really dangerous stuff. Let's see if we can look at Reagan Whitlock here. Oh, that's just, yeah, terrifying to think about. Really terrifying. Honestly, this is something of a, this is actually a little bit of a, I don't know, a take that to Harry Langestein. Langestein just didn't even slow down. He tried going onto the apron, but he could have very well done with slowing down there, and look, like just... I mean, yeah, he had no chance there. Gives us a good view of a lot of the other action unfolding. I keep saying action, but, you know, I mean, how else do I describe it? Like, you just look at Jana Fogelman. My days. Could spend another 5 minutes watching the replays of this crash. Being a passenger in an average amusement park ride, Matthew Burnett is driving straight into her stricken car to add insult to injury there, but oh man. Alright, more importantly, let's just get... Okay, I think lots of cars involved, lots of cars stuck on pit road here. And they're going to be out of this race without any doubt, obviously, but I mean, it does remain to be seen who comes back after that. After such a horrific string of accidents. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are only 19 cars in the field, meaning that half of the field was taken out on lap 18 there. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 20 cars out of the race. And the GOAT not among them. That's probably the worst news of it. The worst news of it all. Amy Hicks somehow still able to drive that car around here. So yeah, we don't even need to like just cycle straight through your top 10. We can just look at all the cars here. 19 of them. Christian Bracken, Lucas Evans, Leroy Jenkins, Colin Cropley, Andy Thomas, Rocky Johnson, Riley Spurley, Joe Allen, Gil Samaya, and Montero Salin. Restarting the top 10 on lap 23. And behind them, Asher Shadowall, Joey Trickle, Brittany White, Max Davis, Steve Morgan, Mathis Wells, Patrick Smith, and the GOAT, who was distracted watching some YouTube videos during the pace laps here. Because it's very slow and quiet, and he has nothing much to worry about. Okay, this is a very strange glitch. Whatever. Amy Hicks, I believe, is being scored 2 laps down. Possibly 3. 2 laps down. So yeah, out of this race, Harvey, Flobo, Burnett, Reggie Fogelman, Franco and Jana Fogelman, no surprise there. Voiles as well. Charlebois, Eric Monaco, Whitlock, Lego, Sato, Pepper, sadly, PK, Austin, Taiki, Langestein, Zane, Wolf, and Özkan. So, again, to reiterate, only 19 cars to take the green flag once again here at Daytona. 18 laps to go, just barely past the halfway point of this race. And, well, here's hoping that nothing else really goes off as we get on with ourselves. Christian Bracken, Lucas Evans, and Colin Cropley, the top 3 breaking away, heading through turns 1 and 2. Double lines already forming at the back of the field here, and there is the GOAT in amongst the pack here, trying to make his way through. I think that he did end up suffering a somewhat significant amount of damage. Seems to have all been repaired, but here's hoping that there's no drag on the car being induced here. Definitely not showing the pace that he was previously in this race. I think obviously having that whole pack of cars, all the drafting, all the you know, clean air, all the air being shifted out of the way, you know, just really speeding up that car. I wanted to remind you of your appointment today at 10 a.m. Yeah, that's the GOAT falling behind, and Steve Morgan close behind him. Oh, that's unfortunate, no doubt. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, the GOAT just unable to catch the top pack there. And now Steve Morgan, his fellow GM Goodwrench Chevy driver, stuck behind him. Shadowald, Smith, Wells, and Davis also not having a good time. Again, they've fallen out of the pack here. As you can see, Christian Bracken has fallen all the way to the back of this top 7 here, is what it's looking like. And Colin Cropley once again leading the race. Riley Spurley right behind. There's Leroy Jenkins up in 3rd. Very good stuff there. Rocky Johnson, Gil Samaya, Lucas Evans, Christian Bracken. Again, your top 7, Thomas White and Trickle. I believe that's the rest of your top 10 there. Look at that. Allen, Sallin, and Johnson still in this race, as are the 2 DEI cars that aren't Daniel Voiles, even though these 2 cars are usually the ones at DNF. And, I don't really know what I can say about that one. Let's have ourselves a nice flashback here. Oh, the GOAT's clearly not happy here. Steve Morgan moving past on the inside. The GOAT doesn't have the pace. He's not going to be able to go for the race win again. He's going to take his anger out. He turns Morgan into the wall once again. Caution out here at Daytona. Max Davis gets collected. Oh, what a disaster. Mathis Wells caught up as well. Smith piling into the GOAT's car as it's sideways at the exit of turn 4. Amy Hicks survives once again. Can't say the same about Davis oh man. Oh, that was beautiful. The GOAT takes out Steve Morgan once again. And Max Davis, an unfortunate victim. Mathis Wells, much of the same. Oh, man. What a joke. What an absolute... What a joke that was. And the GOAT couldn't even... The GOAT somehow couldn't, yeah. The GOAT forgot the first rule of motorsport. Learn how to crash someone off without crashing himself in. Have you seen that? The car goes straight over Mathis Wells' car. That's wow. And Patrick Spiff has nowhere to go. That's him out of the race. GOAT's engine smoking. Hopefully he's out of the race. He definitely deserves it after just taking his anger out on Steve Morgan once again. His frustration. And, well, if he didn't have any chance of winning this race, he certainly doesn't now. It's not a very healthy engine we're looking at. Run to caution once again. Colin Cropley falling back into 4th here. Riley Spurley now being scored as your race leader. Leroy Jenkins and Rocky Johnson also ahead of Cropley here. Bracken back up into 6th here. And, wow. Looks like we've managed to reduce the field from 19 to 14 or so. Morgan, Smith, Davis, and Wells on pit road. And I believe that they'll all be out of this race. Hopefully the GOAT will be... Well, they're repairing the damage right now, so we can expect to see him back on track any second now. There he is. Great. So, yep. Sad days for... yeah. Smith, Davis, Morgan, and Wells also out of this race after managing to survive the first crash on lap 18. Didn't do them too much good, huh? Amy Hicks is still in the contest, so we're down to 15 cars. But, yeah. Again, Spurley, Jenkins, Johnson, Cropley, and Samaya still be in the, top 5. Bracken, Evans, Thomas White, Trickle, Allen, Sallin, Schadewald, and the GOAT heading up the rest of the field. Underway once again here at Daytona, and can the GOAT catch up to the back of the drafting line? No. His engine is shot to hell. And, well, I don't think anybody's going to be feeling too much sympathy for him. Maybe his mom, but, you know, whatever. Spurley immediately heading up to the front of the field. There's no chance in hell that he's going to be able to escape. Certainly not from Leroy Jenkins. But, well, there's not going to be nearly as much drafting support here, so I think that pure pace is going to be much more necessary now. Amy Hicks, a very slow car, holding up her teammate, Ashley Schadewald, the winner of the Daytona 500. I don't think Schadewald's going to have very much to be pleased with there. She's going to fall behind the main drafting line. She's going to step out, but I think that's curtains for her chances at going for the race win here. Joe Allen in 11th, just behind Joey Trickle and Montero Salin. There's Brittany White, Kristen Bracken, Andy Thomas, Lucas Evans, Gil Samaya. Leroy Jenkins falling out of second here. Colin Crowley back into that position. Jenkins tried to file in front of Gil Samaya, but he doesn't have the space. Looks like he's going to lose position to Samaya as well. Spurley getting... I think Cropley might have nudged Spurley out of the way, but in any case, yeah, Spurley just moving up to the outside line for unknown reasons. Colin Cropley once again back into the race lead here. Not for long if Rocky Johnson has something to say about it. Johnson has the inside line. I think Cropley might have more pace heading into the tri-oval. Cropley to lead a little lap here at the Pepsi 400. Riley Spurley still close behind. Samaya Evans and Jenkins making it 3 wide. Annie Thomas watching them. Christian Bracken and Brittany White falling behind here. Yeah, as you can see, Allen, Trickle, and Salin have faded into oblivion along with Ashley Schadewald. Amy Hicks is going to be doing much of the same, but yeah, the GOAT is, I mean, look at that. He's topping out at 146 miles an hour. The crowd is laughing and jeering at him, as they have every right to. Just getting word here that Florida Man bets $500,000 on a race win for the GOAT. Just 2 minutes ago. Good news for Florida Man, I guess. Kind of looking a little bit like the finish to Talladega. I think Gil Samaya won that race, right? But yeah, obviously, I mean, lots of luck here that both Jasper Motorsports cars, who you expect to be very good at the speedways and super speedways, they certainly were at Michigan last few weeks ago. Same with Pocono. Actually, maybe it was only 2 weeks ago. Depends on the upload schedule. Yeah. They got some of the fastest cars in the field. Really know how to wheel themselves around the speedways and super speedways, so you expect to be performing well, but more importantly, they've survived 2 different crashes today, basically. Well, they survived the big one on lap 18, which took out half of the field, so yeah. Before and after that, it was just some minor incidents and kerfuffles, it seemed. But unfortunately, Joey Trickle has fallen outside the main drafting pack here. Schadewald somehow has been able to make it past all 3 of these guys here. Allen, Salin, and Trickle. I guess she's just that good. Must have goated turn 3. Oh, he must have let the others by, but now Colin Cropley on the outside. About to start losing positions left, right, and center here. Bracken now has the race lead. I think Bracken might have led very briefly at Rockingham. I forget, but I don't think we've seen Bracken in the lead yet. 3 wide with Jenkins, Samaya, and Annie Thomas. Thomas is going to fall behind. White also made up part of that. Spurley and Cropley right now. No issue there. She's going to lose out to Evans and possibly Johnson as well. Yeah, that's just a GOAT enjoying his Sunday drive, as usual. Bracken breaking free from the field. 3 wide once again. Not anymore. Gonna have 5 laps to go once we cross the line here. Christian Bracken leads another lap of the Pepsi 400. Riley Spurley and Colin Cropley back into 2nd and 3rd here. Cropley just showing a lot of pace. He's clearly got that engine tuned quite nicely here. Again, there's not nearly as much drafting support in the field anymore. It's gonna mean everything. Coming down to the wire here. Rocky Johnson back from the back of this pack to the front once again. Up into 3rd. Colin Cropley stepping out to make a move for the race lead. He's going to make it stick, and Rocky Johnson is following closely as well. Cropley's going to move to the middle. Through the tri-oval here. 4 to go. Rocky Johnson beats Christian Bracken to the line. Gil Samaya, Annie Thomas on the inside here, just behind Rocky Johnson. I bet Joe Allen's gonna love this. Joe's gonna be really excited about this. He's first of all, he's gonna be very happy that he hasn't crashed out. Bit sad that he and Salin are just outside the top 10. Joey Trickle continuing to fall behind. The GOAT still at 146 miles an hour. Amy Hicks at 167, I think. Yeah. Seriously, I think they're just memeing at this point. The GOAT's gonna blow his engine any moment now. And this race is gonna go yellow. And we're going to be denied a satisfying result. Because, yeah. But we'll still have 3 to go. Christian Bracken and Riley Spurley down to the, up to the outside line. That's not helping their chances. Johnson somehow finding herself behind a few other cars here. Leaders coming up on Amy Hicks now. Samaya and Jenkins running second and third at present. And if Brittany White has something to say about the GOAT on the apron. Has he broken something? Oh, I see. Oh, how very kind of him. The GOAT letting the leaders by instead of LePaging them. That might not have been the best turn of events for Colin Cropley, though, because now Brittany White is running side by side of him. Brittany White, unable to lead a lap, but there she is on the inside, going for the race win here with 2 to go. Christian Bracken finds himself back in third here. Gil Samaya fourth. Evans and Spurley duking it out for fifth. Thomas back to eighth. Johnson ninth. Jenkins back to ninth actually. White flag is out. This is the final lap. Colin Cropley has led quite a few this race. Don't know who's going to get the extra 5 for most laps led here. Here comes Bracken to the inside. She's going to leave Brittany White in the dust, surely. White's going to suffer on that outside line unless she gets back to the inside very quickly. Gil Samaya is going to deny her that chance. More importantly, here come Christian Bracken and Riley Spurley yet again. Spurley stepping out now, down the back stretch here. Lucas Evans on the back stretch on the inside, more specifically. Don't think that's going to do him very much good. Brittany White falling behind. Danny Thomas, teammate. Right there, Johnson in the mix. Jenkins has no chance here. Look at the 4 cars here. Cropley, Bracken, Spurley, Samaya. Bracken steps out. Down to the line. It's not enough. Colin Cropley wins the Pepsi 400. And that is fantastic. Oh, what a race. What a finish. That was a thing of beauty. Wow, wow, wow. Colin Cropley finally got a top 10. He finally got a top 5. He went back to his DNFing ways. He's going to victory lane at Daytona today. What a result. What a drive. In the right places at the right times. Defending from so many people. All these people at the front challenging for the lead here and there during the final 15 laps or so. He's earned this one. What a result. I know my voice broke there, and Chris Harvey will probably find that really cute. Whatever. And that's the GOAT. Finishing 2 laps down. So yeah, once again, the GOAT was leading this race, just like the Daytona 500. Was well within a shout of winning. Then he got, well, he didn't even get the worst of that big one on lap 18, but obviously it clearly unsettled him enough. And, well, I guess he took out his frustrations on Steve Morgan. I bet he thinks he was exacting revenge, even though Steve Morgan was not in any way at fault for that crash. Not overshooting his pit stall, obviously. Oh, whatever. Okay. What a race. What a race, I'm telling you. Yeah. That was a good one. Colin Cropley wins the Pepsi 400 at Daytona International Speedway. Led 16 out of 40 laps. Gets the extra 5 points. Well deserved. Just, yeah. Wow. Christian Bracken, Riley Spurley, Gil Samaya also scoring 5 extra points today. Lucas Evans comes home 5th. Rocky Johnson 6th. Andy Thomas 7th. Brittany White 8th. Leroy Jenkins 9th. And rounding out your top 10 today, Ashley Schoeneveld, your Daytona 500 winner. Not the result she was hoping for. She was definitely expecting to challenge for the race win today, but can probably content herself with 10th, I suppose. Joe Allen, Montero Salin, and Joey Trickle. Last of the lead lap finishers. Only 13 cars finishing on the lead lap today. Only 15 cars finishing in total. The GOAT comes home 2 laps down, and Amy Hicks 3. So yeah, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th for Patrick Smith, Max Davis, Steve Morgan, and Mathis Wells, all of whom were crashed off on lap 20, 25, yeah, I guess it was 25 or so, maybe 24. All right, looking here from 20th to 39th, all these drivers crashed out on lap 18. Harvey, Flobo, Burnett, Reggie Fogelman, Franco, Jana Fogelman, Voiles, Charlebois, Monica, Whitlock, Lego, Sato, Pepper, PK, Austin, Tyke, Langestein, Zane, Wolf, and Özkan. And Dylan Abrahamian did not start this race. So that's a hammer blow for him. As if he could suffer any more misfortune. I think that Colin Cropley's bad luck has really rubbed off onto Dylan Abrahamian here. Where is he? Yeah, as you can see, only 16 starts, so he's being scored as a did not start for the Pepsi 400. What a terrible fate to be resigned to. Reagan Whitlock. I thought I saw Reagan Whitlock with a different amount here. Nope, but yeah. Again, only 15 starts for Davis and Morgan, who are still in the top 20 and just outside that top 10. So, let's have a look at your point standings here. Patrick Smith continues to lead the table despite DNFing today. Christian Bracken jumps up to second after a good result. Eric Monaco third. Simon Özkan fourth. Yeah, they hold those positions despite crashing out today. Gil Samaya and Joey Trickle, the 2 Jasper Motorsports Engines cars, running 5th and 6th. I realize I keep saying Motorsports Engines. Both are true. Jasper Engines Motorsports, I guess. I don't know. And Daniel Voiles 7th. The GOAT up to 8th. How about that? That's really surprising. Riley Spurley 9th and Chris Harvey 10th. Yeah, despite, again, crashing out today. Argy Tyke 11th. Max Davis 12th. Wolf 13th. Morgan 14th. PK 15th. Burnett 16th. Reggie Fogelman 17th. Wells 18th. Shadowall up to 19th. And Antonin Charlebois rounding out the top 20. Well, that's all very surprising, but yeah. This points table has definitely evolved. After, about 10 races or so. Maybe 12, but yeah. Bottom 20 in the standings. Jana Fogelman, Bobbin Flobo, Andy Thomas, Sabrina Footlega, Montero Salin, Mo Zane, Colin Cropley, Lucas Evans, Leroy Jenkins, Amy Hicks, Harry Langestein, Sato, Austin, Jonathan Abrahamian, Allen, Whitlock, Franco, White, and still in last place in the standings, and still with a long way to go, Gerald Pepper. Now, the important thing here is I have really bad news to break to you guys. All 4 of our drivers who thus far had finished every race this season all crashed out at the Pepsi 400 today. And I'm trying to remember who those were, but I believe they were Burnett, Jana Fogelman, probably was Salin, right? Because Salin finished the race. Burnett, Jana Fogelman, I think Davis, and there was one more. Who's the other one? Sato, yeah. Yep, that's unfortunate. Now the only drivers to have zero DNFs this season are the 2 drivers that only drove 2 races, the first 2 races of the season. Which makes it even more embarrassing for Peter McGregor, who only drove 2 races this season and DNF'd one of them. So, yeah, once again, bitter news for Davis, Burnett, Jana Fogelman, and Sato. Yeah. Most DNFs, Gerald Pepper tied with Brittany White, who finished the race today in a pretty good position. So, yeah. So, laps completed. Montero Salin has the mostest, 1269 to 1284. And that's more than Matthew Burnett. So, Matthew Burnett also loses his laps completed crown momentarily, if momentarily, to Montero Salin, who's been very unremarkable this season. Lap sled still goes to the GOAT, of course. But yeah, another new race winner this season, Colin Cropley. And there's probably not too much else to discuss, I don't think. Statistics-wise, GOAT has led 13 of the 17 races this season. Cool. So, it's been Hanafuda. Spent a time and a half in honor. I will see you in Joliet at Chicagoland Speedway for the Tropicana 400.